Right guys, welcome to the UK scale and crawler video. Sorry there's not been one out for the last like 2 weekends. I've not had time. Been a little bit mental back in the house with the 2 kids and working and this, that and the other. So there's going to be two videos come out next weekend. One of which is going to be the first test drive video on this. I'll get back to that in a minute because there's a few new bits gone into it, as you can see. So but yeah, there's that video which is going to be the first main drive, which will be probably out, I'd say maybe Sunday. Then Monday there'll also be another video come out from the meet that we've got on the 7th, which is the Saturday. There's a massive, there's a big amount of us going out. There's the best part of about 30 of us going out. Plus like other people's kids and stuff like that, so there might be even more. So that's going to be an absolute monster video. We're going to a place called Gearbox, which is in, or it's just outside Matek. So like round Mansfield, way around there in Nottingham. So we're off out up there next weekend. So if anyone wants to come to that, if you go onto the Facebook group or even go onto the forum, which is www.ukscale.com, I'll put a little thing in somewhere down here that'll say give you the web address, it'll flash up. Yeah, so there's that meet going on, so there'll be a huge video coming from that. It's going to probably be, I reckon, well, probably 2 videos it'll take. Sorry about that, wifey's just popped her head in, doesn't matter, all sorted. She's gone back upstairs to bed. Win. So yeah, first thing I'm going to get onto this. This has now got a couple of new parts in it. The gearbox that was in it was originally off the Maverick Scout. Now the gearbox has held up well for the last 2 or 3 trial runs I've been out on, and it's still working. There's nothing up with it, but I just wanted to make sure it was extra strong, so I bought a new one. The new one I bought was off eBay. It's cost £28 plus £4 shipping. It's come from China, but it seems alright. It comes with full aluminium housing. It comes with full hardened steel gear set and all the bearings. Comes with a HD motor plate and a really nice looking spur gear cover. But yeah, as I say, it's 28 quid. It seems, sorry about that. It seems to be alright. The only one thing I found that was a problem with it was that it didn't have no greasing. So I'll put a link in the description box over to the actual eBay ad for buying them. Yes, they are a good gearbox. Yes, they're far better stronger than the standard one, the standard SCX10 or Scout. But you are going to need to take it to bits and grease it, because there's literally, it's bone dry inside it. There's no grease on any of the gears, and as you know, no grease causes a lot of wear. So the gear set that's in it, it's the same one that I've been running in my Hilux for the last 12 months, and as you know, it's that thing's ridiculous. It's brushless, it's got mega amounts of power, it's stupid amounts of torque, and it's still not spat a tooth to this day. It's never had a problem with the gearbox, touch wood. So I decided to get another one along the same sort of lines for this, because everything else is all upgraded in it. Now, as you've seen on the videos, I've done the diffs. You know, it's now running axial diffs. It's got axial half shafts in the axles. It's got SDI prop shafts on it, which I'll also put a link to in the description box. Another thing on the SDI prop shafts, when you buy them, they come the right length for a Wraith. So they might even be slightly long for a Wraith, which I've now got a set of SDIs on the cage as well, but I'll show you them in a minute. Yeah, they do come slightly long, so you do need to cut them down. Don't use a hacksaw to cut them. If you use a hacksaw, you'll just burn the blades out within a matter of seconds, because the steel's seriously hardened. What you'll have to do is get a grinder, or with a cutting disc on it, 6-inch grinder, mark it to however long you need it, chop it, and then just put a flat spot on the end again for the set screw to go in. I'm saying this runs them, and these stand up. They've stood up to a lot of arse kicking, shall we say, and that bouncer's running them as well now. So we'll see how they're doing that on Friday. But yeah, anyway, so I'll show you this gearbox. I'll just pull that off. Oh, still got lights and stuff plugged in. Oh yeah, incidentally I've now got LEDs in the front and LEDs in the back as well. I've also just ordered, while I think on, I'll put a video up tomorrow probably, of a light bar that I've just ordered, which Dave W off the forum is 3D printing these light bars. They look really nice. They're stupidly bright, like ridiculously bright. They hurt your eyes when you look at them. So yeah, I've got to pick that up from the postie tomorrow, because unfortunately we were all in bed this morning when the postman decided to knock at 7:30. So yeah, anyway, so he also does all them scale accessories on the top, everything that's on there except for the roll mat and the little tarp. They're done by Sean, Sean Pretty I think his name is, on Facebook. But down to the sandboards, what's it called, like the big cooler box, toolbox, high lift jack, everything, Dave does all that lot. So if you want any scale accessories, he does them cheap, but they're 3D printed, so they're proper plastic. He also does fuel cells and stuff like that, and a V8 engine, which I've just ordered for the bouncer, which should hopefully be here tomorrow. So yeah, anyways, I'll put a link to the forum in the bottom, as I said, and then you can just jump through and find Dave on there. So you can send him private messages. I'll also put a link to his Facebook account as well. But yeah, anyway, back to the gearbox. So this is the new gearbox. So I'll tell you what, let me just pause the video 1 minute and I'll take the camera out of the house and show you properly. There you go. Hope that's a bit better. So that's what the spare gear cover now looks like. Incidentally, it comes with a steel spare as well, but I've taken that off and put a stock axial one on, just for the fact that, because everything's hardened steel, if something's going to break, I don't want it being one of the gears inside the gearbox, and I also don't want it being the housing, so I'd rather have to spend £4 on a new spare gear. So I've put plastic spare on, but otherwise everything else is all hardened steel and aluminium. But yeah, comes with that housing, that spare gear cover. You've then got full aluminium housing as well. It also comes with all the bearings. Incidentally, they're the SDI shafts on the front and back, as you can see. And then the motor plate it comes with is, if I can get some light on the situation, I should be able to see that, I reckon. Yeah, that's the motor plate it comes with. The gearing I'm running on this is a 20 tooth pinion with an 87 tooth spare. Then I'm also running the same motor that's in a HPI E-Savage. If you just type in E-Savage motor on eBay, the motors will come up with 14.4 volt they can take up to. But because they're a 550 size motor, the torque out of them is just immense, ridiculous. So yeah, that's the motor I've got in anyway. So that's the first part of the update for you all, is that gearbox. As you can hear, nice and smooth. It drives really nice. There's no play or anything in any of the shafts. There's no like slop or anything. It's literally it's spot on, that gearbox. I can't fault it. So yeah, 28 quid on eBay. Check description box. There'll be a link straight to that on eBay, and then if you want one, pick one up. Just as I said though, just make sure you run the plastic spare gears, because it'll stop everything else breaking. And to be honest with you, I'd rather if I put too much torque through it, because this gearbox doesn't have a slipper. It's permanently locked. So if something's going to strip, I'd rather it was a spare gear. It's only 4 quid to fix it. So anyway, so yeah, that's the gearbox. If you bear with us 1 second now, I'll just turn this off again, get this one out of the way, and I will get the bouncer on and tell you where we're up to with that. Okay, see you in a sec. And by the magic of television, we now have a bouncer. This build, as most of you will know, it wasn't for me. I'm doing this for someone else, a bloke called John Racing. He's up on the forum, he's also on Facebook as well. Basically, he's bought the cage from Adam Meller, who incidentally made it. He makes a lot of cages. He's done the bumper on my LR3. He's done the rock sliders for my LR3. He's done a lot of work for a lot of the people on UK Scale and Crawler now. So yeah, he's made the cage and then he sent it off to John, and then, as I think I said in the first video, John was struggling a little bit to get everything together and getting it all sitting right, so he sent it off to me, and then lo and behold, I've now got it to where it is now. Where do you start? When I first got it, the motor plate and stuff that was in it was plastic one, and it was a bit twisted up and wasn't very happy, and then a piece snapped off it before I got it. So we had to order a new skid plate for it. So we've now got, I think it's a Jazz Rider one, the HD gear plate in the bottom. So we've now got big aluminium gear plate. Now I've had to drill it because when John had been messing with his gearbox, the screws that were in it were too big. So I couldn't get the same screws back through the motor plate, so I've had to drill the plate out. Sorry, the gearbox mount, I've had to drill that out so I could get the screws back in, but the gearbox is solid, it's rock solid, it's not coming back out in a hurry. So I've done that. Also, I've made the titanium links for it underneath. The links started off as 5mm grade 5 titanium, then I've turned 10mm of the ends down to 4mm, and then whapped the thread up it so the rod ends will all go on. The same on this. The bottoms are 5mm, sorry, the uppers are a 4mm, but to be honest with you, you're not going to snap it. You know, it's going to take a hell of a lot to snap one of these links. I think, yeah, anyway. I'll tell a lie, yeah, the bottoms are 5mm, the uppers are 4mm. So yeah, so I've made the links for it and stuck the links on. Then the shocks that he had, they were big bore shocks, and they were too big for the scale look of the car. They were too big for the front, so when you put the shocks on, as you can see with the slim ones, they're not touching the chassis. When you put the other ones on, like the ones you used to have, they'd be slammed up tight against the chassis and they were seizing up and they wouldn't work right. So we ordered these off eBay. I think these were about 30 quid, something like that. They might have even been less, but they're good shocks. They seem nice and strong. When you're putting the oil in, if you put 25 weight oil in them, but leave a little bit of an air gap at the top of about 3mm, because otherwise the shock seize up because they haven't got a bladder in them. Otherwise, if you leave, it's literally only a couple of mil you need to leave in the top, and otherwise they're nice and free, and you know, they've got the right amount of compression on them. They also come with a set of medium springs, set of hard springs and softs. It's running full mediums all round on it now. We may end up going to softs on the front, but we'll have to see how it works. You know, that's the whole point of testing, isn't it? So put them shocks on. Then what did we do then? Then the motor that came with it was a Tamiya CR Tune 3510. It was a rebuildable motor, but to be honest with you, it was falling to bits. It was absolutely destroyed. So we ripped that out and replaced that with an RC 4-wheel drive 3510, stuck that in. It's also running a M-Tronics Rock C speed controller, which you'll have to take up to 3S. So I'm going to put to fit a 3S, it's going to be a bit of a pig. We're going to have to get smaller 3Ss, like say 3000 or even 3500 milliamp. Reason being, the pack will be slimmer. These packs that are in this at the minute are only 2S, and as you can see, there's not much gap between there and the cage. So we'll have to sort something to get it on 3S, but it drives fine on 2S. But 3S is always nice to have the extra kick when you need it. So yeah, anyway, so we've replaced the motor. The drive shafts that were in it were the cheap Jazz Rider ones. They're meant to be HD, but to be honest with you, they're about as useful as a fart in a spacesuit. They just fall to bits. The pins come out of them, the pins snap, the universal joints go. They're no use. So we've got the SDI ones, which is the same as what's on my Land Rover. Obviously, as I said, they are slightly long, but I've had to cut them to size. But now there's absolutely no binding. It's nice and smooth. That noise is because it's running the steel spur gear as well. But this has got a slipper on it, that's why it's got the steel. But yeah, so we've got them on it now as well. It's also just recently had full bearing kit fitted, because the bearings that were in it, I put pictures up on Facebook, they weren't happy. They were absolutely destroyed. So we fitted a full bearing set to it as well. what did I have to do next? Then we needed to widen the axles up and put the bigger wheels on. Since day one, to be honest with you, I put the bigger wheels on it anyway. It used to have 1.9s on, and it looked stupid, if I'm honest. Sorry John, because I know you're going to watch this, but it looked daft. So we got the 1.9s, ripped them off, and then one of my friends from over in Ireland, who runs OBR UK, if you're a 5th scale fan, you know what that means. He was selling an AX10, so bought the AX10 off him. I sold the AX10 for him, but then we kept the wheels off it, and put the wheels onto this, which, yeah, anyway, so we put them on there. So it's now got a set of 2.2s on it. The compound's a little bit hard on the tyres, I won't deny, but there's nothing a little bit of compound softener won't fix. And if it doesn't fix it, then tyres, they're not that expensive for a half decent set of tyres. You know, you can get a set of HB Rovers for like, it's 15 quid a pair. So you can always put them on it, which will make it a hell of a lot more drivable, shall we say. The traction will be immense with them on. So yeah, we changed them. Then we had to put a set of RC 4-wheel drive axle extenders on as well. You can get cheaper ones, I won't deny, but as I said to John, you know, if I'm going to build something, I want to know it's got parts on it that are going to last and they're not going to break. The RC 4-wheel drive axle extenders, I'm going to put it, instead of like most of the other ones where they're a thin extender and they're about 12mm long, and all you have is just your pin going through the end. And then I'm going to you have your pin go through your half shaft, then the extender goes on. Well, with these, it's not like that. The axle extenders that are on this have actually, I'm going to put it, you put your axial, you put your pin through your shaft, then you put your hex on, and then these axle extenders then go over the hex, so there's more contact patch. So it spreads the torque out that you put on the driver, so it doesn't snap the pins, in theory. Now, if you over tighten them, obviously it's going to snap the pins, but if you do it right, then you're not going to break them. The only thing I did have to do was put some Loctite on the bolts, because obviously the bolts now having to go right through the axle, through the wheel, through the axle extender, and then onto the half shaft. But because on standard bolts, standard nuts, they've normally got a nylock on the top. Because you're putting a bolt over it, not putting a nut over it, but an extended one, they obviously don't have nothing to hold it on, so all the wheel nuts have now got Loctite on, just to stop them coming out. Then after that, we then had to I had to mount the battery tray up, because the battery tray was zip tied in the front. Don't know why, but it was. So anyway, sorted that. Then we get to the little man. Now, as you can see, I'll just do that in a minute. The little man in there, it's got 4-point harness on. It's also got bucket seating as well, and all the panelling. The panelling is a full set of panels. These clamps which are holding it in, these were made by Dave from the 3D printers again. All I said to him was what I wanted, sent him a little shady drawing over, shall we say, and then he made them on his computer, sent me a picture, said, "There, what you want?" I said, yeah. He came to me within the next couple of days. He can make anything, but there's little clamps dotted all over it just to hold the panels in. Also, Dave from the 3D printers made the seat as well, which is proper 10 scale bucket seat. He also makes the little men as well. The men are a copy of the Tamiya ones, not the Wild Willy ones, the other ones that Tamiya make. They're a copy of them, but they're made from resin, so they look a little bit better. So when you get it, it's unpainted. They come with 2 different heads. You can also, the arms aren't on. You can glue the arms onto wherever you want. So basically, you can get him sat in the seat. Once you've got him sat in the seat, you can then move the arms to where you want. Stick a dab of glue in. Job done. The steering wheel, that came out of, what body was that out of? A New Bright something or other. I can't remember what it was now. But yeah, we come out of a New Bright body. It was the dashboard that was in it. So obviously the dash wouldn't look right in this. So we took the dash out. I took the steering wheel off the dash and then glued the steering wheel in his hands. I am just waiting on a dash which Dave's also making us, who does the 3D printing. I'm waiting. I sent him some pictures of a dash. He sent me some. I said we've had a bit of a conversation. He sorted it out, and the dash is being sent up. And as you know, he's doing a light bar for, well, he's done the light bar for that as well. So yeah, it'll be all good. What else have we got to say? It's now running Castle BEC. Reason being, the steering wasn't perfect. It was getting bound up quite easily. Because the BEC that's in the speed control was only like 5 volt, I think. So it couldn't power the amount of power that what the servo was asking for. So we've now put Castle BEC and got that set to 6 volt. There are videos on the channel on how to actually program a BEC, or program a Castle BEC anyway. So yeah, we've got that on there. And then the receiver was stuffed as well, so we had to order a new receiver. So the receiver that's now in it is just, it's a Hobby King one, but it works with the Fly Sky radios. They're only like £4 each or something, so it's cheaper than having to pay £7 or £8 on eBay and then waiting for, you know, best part of a week for it to turn up. You can get them from the UK warehouse here in a couple of days, job done. I'm sure there's other bits I've left out, but to be honest with you, this video is probably getting a little bit long-winded now, so I think we'll call it quits there. Oh yeah, one more thing, I've done the steering linkage as well. But yeah, anyway, so then we'll call it quits now. Keep your eye out next weekend for the first running video of this. And then, as I said, probably Monday there'll be the main big meet video, which this will be in, that'll be in, and there'll be probably another 30 or 40 cars in it as well, if everyone turns up, if the weather's not too bad. So yeah, cheers guys for watching. Thank you very much to all the new subscribers, and all the previous subscribers. You know, just thank you to you all. I can't believe how much the channel's taken off over the last, say, probably about 3 months. And we started off and there weren't many people, and then it went quiet for a little bit once we got up to about 400, and then now we're not far off 1,000. So I honestly can't thank you enough. Thank you very, very, very much. Click the like button for me if you don't mind, because then, you know, obviously it knows I'm doing something right. Also share the videos about within your community. So if you're on, say, any forums, i.e. ours, then you need to join up to that. There's loads of good threads going up. But yeah, if you're on any forums like RC Sparks, or if you're on Squirrel OD's forums or whatever like that, just, you know, just put the videos out there for me. It'll help me get more subscribers, get me a little bit of extra, you know, helping hand with everything, and then I can make more videos. So yeah, do that, and then don't forget, if you're not a subscriber, smash that button. It's about somewhere. So just hit the subscribe button for us, and you know, we'll be game on. So thank you very much. As I keep saying, sorry for going on and on and on and on and on. See you on the next one. Cheers guys, see you next weekend, bye.